Oh, nice. So, about a week ago, I made a video covering the FNAF fan game Five Nights at Pico's. If you have yet to see that video, this one might not make a lot of sense, so go give it a watch before watching this one. With that out of the way, let's discuss this spooky video game. Remasters and remakes are fairly commonplace among games, most commonly found in solo devs or indie dev teams, though AAA studios have been dipping their toes into the field as of recent. It's a great way for devs to flex their skills and see just how far they've come with game development. This can be found in troves within the FNAF community, some of the biggest examples being Candies, Treasure Island, and even Popgo's with Evergreen in the works. Speaking of which, go buy Popgo's Arcade on Steam for only $5 with Machinist DLC. But obviously, remasters extend further than just the well-known fan game sphere, and today we'll be looking at an incredibly obscure franchise and how it took its first entry from a charming mess to an actual product. Ladies, gentlemen, and MBs alike, I give you Five Nights at Pico's Remastered. Five Nights at Pico's Remastered is a FNAF fan game and remaster of its predecessor, Five Nights at Pico's. Pretty obvious stuff. See, even the wiki agrees. It was originally released May 19th of 2015, but eventually got taken down for having scary jump scares, which forced them to update the game and re-release it with the jump scares being slowed down and made quieter, as well as being made optional. While it seems kinda ridiculous, this is still a kid's website after all. Interestingly, Pico's Remastered got itself a Game Jolt port as well. Wait, Pico's 1 got a port too? But the entire series is here, what? Also, apparently the original Five Nights at Pico's was published before FNAF 2 was even announced, and just had been last updated after the game released. My bad. So this game was released following a heavily anticipated Pico's 2, which had its original version taken down so it had to be republished, and Pico's 3, which has yet to be republished and seems to be taken down, though it's still up on Game Jolt, and served to polish and refine everything Pico's 1 was going for. Yes, I'm reviewing these out of order. It's for timeline purposes. And also, GoMotion did the same thing for FNAF, so shh. And during the game's development, a teaser had been posted to hype up the game's release, which also got the kibosh from scratch. Jeez, Damon can't catch a break with these. It's just an image of Pico and Terra with a Kevin McAloy track playing though. Nothing special. How about the game itself? Okay, so I'll admit, I didn't really explain the gameplay too well outside of my criticisms in that it's just FNAF but less polished, so I'll rectify that this time. The gameplay does borrow extremely from FNAF 1 though, specifically in that you're stationed in an office that resides at the far end of a building, with 2 industrial lockdown-style doors and a monitor with access to the building's security cameras to defend yourself with against your robotic foes. However, all these devices utilize a limited supply of power you're allotted a night, so you must conserve it to make it last the night. Each Piconian, as they're called, has a unique attack pattern. Terra, the blue one, is essentially a stand-in for Bonnie. She will maneuver through the building to get you via your left office doorway, but will take detours to the kitchen at absolute random with no discernible purpose. My headcanon is that she's just using the freezer to cool off from skedaddling across the whole ass building in 8 seconds. Nano, the gray one, is our Chica substitute. He'll traverse towards your right office door by just straight up waltzing outside the building and entering through the exit, dirty rule breaker, located just outside your right office door. He'll also occasionally scale the entire fucking building. No reason why. He just casually scales a completely flat vertical plane in seconds. I mean, why not? If I could just yump myself up a wall like that, I sure as hell would. Giga, little red over here, acts as our Foxy. She'll camp out in the bathroom for 6 hours, probably flushing the toilets repeatedly and wasting water. Dick. Starting on night 3, she'll remember the outside world exists and play peekaboo with the camera. However, if you don't spend enough time watching her shenanigans, she will enact divine justice by giving a Terra a run for her money, hoofing it across the entire building in under a second just to smite the frig out of your eye. Golden Scratch, who apparently exists, is just Golden Freddy. He has a 0.5 chance of showing up on the kitchen camera, and if he does, consider yourself a chain reaction that never gets old, cause you won't be escaping anytime soon. Originally, he had a 1 in 1 billion chance of showing up, and since there was no kitchen in the original, it was unavoidable when he did. And Pico, our resident orange boy, I can only assume is our Freddy clone. He likely hides in each camera he goes to as he makes his way to your right office door, hiding just outside your office view and sneaking in while you aren't looking. I wouldn't know, however, because I wasn't able to legitimately complete a single damn night of this game. Now, whereas last time I was just being a pussy, this time it was because there was a game-breaking bug that had happened anytime someone entered or exited the left office door. For some reason, anytime that happens, the game would crash and corrupt my recording, and would either lag the fuck out, or crash my entire system UI when playing on my Kindle Fire. And when playing it on stream with my iPad, the webpage would just hard crash and force a reload, occasionally making the stream stutter and go offline until I manually brought it back online.
Huh? 2. That's good. What? No, not again, not again. Where is it? I'm cheating. I'm cheating the system here. I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna set myself to night 2 because this is bull. Where is it? I'm cheating, but it's okay. Oh. Hi. That's cute. Hey, it didn't crash. You getting... No! We're cutting back to my face. Hi. Hi. Okay. So I'm gonna download Chrome really quick. Have I told you guys how much I passionately dislike Apple product? I just want to play the game. The audio. Thank you. You just don't appreciate the novelty of the Apple product. It's quality. You just don't appreciate it because it's not functional. Yes, I do.
Even when playing it outside of recording or streaming, it'd do the exact same hackery. There was only one time I was able to make it to 6 AM, but when I did, the motherfucking animation for beating the night caused a hard crash. I just want to play a game. Please, let me play a game. Now, this is something I just typically chalk up to me having inferior hardware, or just the fact that I'm playing on mobile, but here's the catch. This game was built with mobile in mind. There's even a touchscreen mode, which, by the by, doesn't change a damn thing. The door buttons are just moved slightly, and there's a bug with it that makes Giga lay the smackdown on your sorry ass if you're inactive for so much as 8 seconds. Which, bear in mind, moving back and forth in the office doesn't count towards activity, so it essentially forces you to use power needlessly. Now, from what I've seen online, it works rather smoothly on a PC, so I'll just pardon my frustrations as an issue with portability, and look past them for the time being. Now, the main goal of a remaster is typically to refine and enhance the gameplay from its original state, usually refining less polished experiences to work and run with less or without issues altogether. The question of the hour, then, is does Pico's Remastered hold up to that? Yes, actually. Now, when reading that they made the nights longer, I was worried, and I had gotten even more worried my first time playing through when I had used 10% of my power by 1 AM by doing next to nothing. But as I played, I quickly found myself really enjoying the game. Now, despite the passive drain still being present, either it or the devices you use got a nerf in power consumption because I'd be ending, or more accurately, nearing the end of nights with power to spare. When it worked, the game played really responsively and felt super satisfying to play. And while Night 1 can drag on when replaying, you likely won't encounter that issue unless A, you suck, B, you're playing through it again, or C, you're playing on mobile. You'll only need to actually defend once, maybe twice at most, and that's only if you're super unlucky. After that, the game picks up pace pretty quickly, which is appreciated given that it lacks many elements of the game it's based off of that contribute to a scary atmosphere. In fact, the only ambience to be seen is near unhearably quiet microphone static with infrequent mic pops. They sound like this. The overall experience reads more as an arcadey sit and survive with startling death sequences rather than a horror experience. And yes, the game did make me jump. Also, with the added kitchen and office hall cameras, I could finally keep tabs on Tara rather than her just vanishing. Overall, pretty solid. And if you're curious, the Game Jolt version's just the exact same. But how's about that juicy lore? Really quickly, subscribe if you're enjoying what you see. Thanks. Really goes a long way to support what I'm doing and help me make more. The story this time around follows roughly the same beats as its predecessor. However, this time around, Televator is much more corporate sounding and has lost most, if not all, of his personality in favor of corporate and legal jokes. I'd have preferred it if he had kept his personality personally, but the new script does have more jokes that genuinely land as opposed to being unintentionally funny. To give you the play-by-play, Night 1's cold open is an email from corporate stating that they randomly found your email. They then proceed to blackmail you into taking up the position of night watchman with no pay. Real stand-up employers, these ones. The phone call proceeds as it did before, just with more emphasis on legally disclaiming the employee disappearances to be just them quitting unannounced, as well as the reports of animatronics moving being hallucinations. Night 2, much like last time, has Darthophone eating his words, this time acknowledging the fact. He proceeds to relay to you that, from the footage left by the prior employees, they've found that the disappearances did in fact happen, as well as confirming that the animatronics do move around at night. They promise that the FBI had no influence on their decision to look through the footage, which is clearly credible. I mean, come on, look at that guy. Would he lie to you? I wouldn't lie to you. They don't fucking lie to you. Who are you? Who are you to say that he would lie to you? Who are you? This time, the manager actually personally tells you to quit driving up my bill. Night 3 still just reinforces what you already knew, still denying the connection between the animatronics moving and the disappearances. Night 4 doesn't start with Buenos Pop-Tarts, so it's instantly a 0 out of 10, and for that, I will explain it no further. Night 5, much like last time, has them finding and admitting by legal requirement that the disappearances in animatronic movement are in fact connected, and not only advise but implore you not to show up the following night. Upon completing the night, you'll receive a check that you'd apparently been pushing for. This time, however, Darth doesn't toss a cent more your way. Lame. Night 6's call was just silence as far as I could find, so that concludes the plot of Pico's Remastered. So, what are my final thoughts? I think the game was improved by leaps and bounds. Every addition made served to greatly benefit the experience, and even completely new things like Night 6 and Custom Night were treats to see. Would I recommend this? Yeah. Get it? Of course, I will give fair warning, it's still an incredibly standard FNAF experience that adds nothing else to the table aside visual and auditory differences. But, for what it is, it exceeds at it pretty well. The cameras are all visibly pleasing, Phone Vader is actually intelligible outside the niche group of like 6 people that listen to the calls on repeat to make out what was being said, it paces itself pretty well, excluding Night 1 when on repeat playthroughs, and feels satisfying to play. Overall, it makes for a much greater starting point in the game series. I wonder how well FNAF 2 was translated, or if they decided to make any creative liberties. Thank you guys so much for attending this week's Remastered shift. We hope it was just as, if not more enjoyable than your last. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like on your way out, and consider subscribing to know when any further shifts are. Sharing with friends, family, and even the family milk gallon helps to support further creations greatly, so be sure to do so if you find the time. We'll be returning sometime soon with a sequel shift, so stay tuned!